on what we are all about, basically?
No.
Okay, so really quickly, we're a newspaper club, and we literally just started because of this story.
Yeah.
We had some classmates of ours that were mostly Dan, who is not here with us today, but he had this idea of starting a newspaper club or actually filming a real piece that's not really biased, and we want to just share the truth with students.
Hi, my name is Camille Taylor. I'm a junior and I go to Summer Creek High School.
When and how did you find out about the video?
I found out a couple weeks ago. I just got done doing my homework and was on Twitter, and I was scrolling through my timeline and I saw that Blaine had posted this video and I watched it.
It said that he bought a book on racial reconciliation from a Jesus and gospel standpoint. And so I put that on Twitter. I didn't mean any harm by it, but I just wanted people to see, like, this is the way that HBO made it out to be. And my caption was something along the lines like, oh, so apparently Kingwood teachers need to know how to talk to black people now, just as like a joke, like a comment, because that's the way that the publicity made it out to be.
The district reached out to me and they asked me if I was interested in doing an interview. And I had already, done an interview with the district prior to that, so I was okay with that. But they did give me a heads up that it was of a different nature and that Vice would probably be taking they would probably be discussing, any racial issues that they deem necessary or present.
They're just trying to get people to spark like an argument and have like racial tension between us, even though there's nothing there. They're just trying to like start stuff for no reason. I mean, we can't have 5,000
Students in the school.
so we gotta separate.
And the whole like segregation thing, and it makes like those schools come across like there's gonna be like drama now because like everybody's gonna think, oh, like this school's being racist and this school's wanting to segregate. They don't want to be with the black kids.
This is not we're separating by race, we're doing it by schools.
I mean, a lot of sources like to twist and manipulate what people say and what people do to make it sound worse than it is.
The media needs to be about the business of truth telling, and it is not the time right now to manipulate that truth.
Wolf, and I'm a teacher at Kingwood High School.
So, Mr. Wolf, are you racist?
No, I'm not.
What was your initial reaction upon seeing what Vice published?
My initial reaction to their video piece, they led with referencing Brown versus Board of Education. So even just as it started, you knew that their angle was going to be a racial angle. And then as you watched, you could tell that they were trying to portray a racial issue, even though there really wasn't and isn't one here.
What kind of questions did Vice News ask you?
They started with general questions about how it was over here, how was the commute, how are the students, how did it affect learning, how did it affect planning. And then it moved to, did I understand or did I know the racial makeup of Summer Creek? Did I know the racial makeup of Kingwood High School? And after that question, they asked me, or they stated that Kingwood High was rated well on certain metrics and that Summer Creek wasn't rated as highly on some of those metrics. And did I have an opinion on why that was? And I did not answer that question, basically. I just said, if we knew the answer to that, we'd all be rated really high. So no, I don't know the answer to that question. And then they continued with some more questions along racial lines, like was there extra tension in the halls? was there any extra animus toward the football game that was coming up? And they didn't specifically mention race, but it was in the context of having just asked me about the racial makeup of Summer Creek versus the racial makeup of Kingwood High School.
How would you define racial reconciliation?
I'd start by defining reconciliation as restoring a relationship, restoring a friendship, restoring the peace between two people or two groups of people in the case of racial reconciliation. So it's just recognizing that the history of our country has not been a good one in terms of racial attitudes and groups. And so racial reconciliation would seek to inform everybody that how the other culture lives and to seek to pursue friendships across racial lines.
What are some ways that you believe we can change the misconceptions between our schools?
I think that's a difficult one because probably the best way is to get over misconceptions about a different person or group of people is to spend time with them. And so it's difficult if you're separated. So it would be good if there was a way to find clubs or opportunities, pep rallies, something to bring us together, to get to just be with each other more often.
Why do you think news sources stretch the truth or manipulate interviews and quotes?
I think they're partially motivated because it's a news business, and a story about two high schools coming together and then nothing happens isn't really newsworthy and isn't gonna. They got to make a story, and it would be a much more incendiary or viewable or whatever clickable story if there was tension, if there was racial issues going on. And so I'm sure they were looking for that, hoping to get more of a pop to the story rather than two high schools come together and they just have high school.
Just because we have a minority population as a majority, it's not a true reasoning as to who we are.
Good with everyone, like just act like everyone's just people. We're not separated by just schools, we're still teenagers.
Because I think our school is this is the best school I have ever gone to.
This is not our school, be nice to them, be cordial with them.
I love the atmosphere, I love the people, I love being in a diverse culture, and I think it's one of the biggest and greatest things I'll ever experience.
And just to recognize that we're all people, we're all created in God's image, and that race is just one aspect of who we are.